So next part is to create the reports. So in here let's create a list of reports. We need to do some reports to get the data to an Excel spreadsheet, and other ones to print some data in a PDF. So if in here, if we go to our products, let's say that if I go to my batch products, I want to have here a link to list all this information in the Excel report. So this will be the product batches, and what I want to do in here, I want to add a link in here. That's basically will be, let's call it download as reports, whatever. Download as report, and basically this link, it would show a different page. It will open a different page, which will be so the user can download the report. So let's save this, and what we want to do, we want this to be, let's create a new page called product batches report. And in here we want to change this to empty canvas, and what we want to do in here is we want to create, in this case, since we already have that resource created, we want to create a new action, which will be to get all the correspondent batches for that specific product that we are passing in the URL. So in here we see that we have product 1, so what we want to do is to show that specific batches in the Excel report. So first of all, what we need to do is to get that function that gets that information. So since we already have that in our product batch, we can simply call it here. Which will be product batch. Which is one here, which is the get all. No limits, there will be no limits. The conditions, now here is the conditions. We need to set some conditions. So what we want to do is, in here this is called batches. Want to add a new action that basically will be an array. This will be called the variable will be conditions, where in here the conditions will be the product ID will be equal to what we have in the URL, in the products ID URL. So in here we set the conditions with the value of the product ID, that we could, instead of doing like this, we could put here directly the code to get directly the URL, but this is still fine. And then we are passing that conditions to the batch, in here to the conditions, a variable, and then we are putting that in the batches, and then the result, I want to add another action which will be the Excel report, list report. We put here the document name, product batches, based in the variable name, which is the batches, and we die. We save this, we go back again to the product batches, and here in the link we simply call that page product batch report, where we need to put the product ID that we are receiving also from the URL. And we put a new target called report, so you can open another page. So when I do refresh here, when I click here, okay, we're having an error, so that resource is not well defined. That's because in here this is a variable. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so every time that I click here, it downloads the correspondent file. If I open the file, I can see that I have here the correspondent lists in the Excel report. Okay, so this part is done. Obviously that we could have put this in a with a better CSS. Not like this, but maybe like something like this, which could be small. Something like this. Download there is the report. I click, appears here, so then I can open it. Okay, so this is one way of doing reports based in Excel spreadsheet. Another way is, so let's say that I want to get all products here. So another way of doing this is I go to the products, and below here the short actions I put here a div where I move it down in here, and in here I copy a link, and this link will be get as report. And basically what this will do, this will trigger, instead of calling another page, that was what we did with the product batches, I want this to trigger directly the load resource from that is in here. So what I want is, so in here I need to create a resource called, let's say so get products, it's here, this one here, targeted window, so I'll put here a new window called, just put it report, call it report, and now in the event I need this to trigger, scroll down, I need this to be execute single element fields resource. I think it's this one. Where in here I put the type of resource that I want to call it. Let's see if this saves this correctly. When I click here, okay, it is working fine. Now what I need to do is I need to convert. So this is, if you realize, when I click here it's showing the targeted window, but this is in a JSON file. So what I want to convert this in an Excel report. So what I need to do is I need to go here to the resources, and I needed to copy this resource here, that is in here, this get all. I needed to copy this into a new resource, so then I can convert it to Excel. So I need to add an action. So this needs to be a group. So as a group, in here I add a new subgroup where basically I'll call that specific object, which is this one here, get all product resource util. So product resource util, this one here, they get all. Then in here I just copy paste everything. Okay, this I can call it products 2. This will be report. And then from here I want to add list report based in that variable that we created here, which is the product 2. And this will be product matches to, no, sorry, products. This will be products. And we just type in here. So product 2, list report. Okay, so basically we just create a new resource called report. So then in here, instead of calling the products, we want to call the report, which will be this one. So when we refresh this page, it automatically saves here product. So when I refresh this and I click, but now it's saving. Is always saving, so every time I refresh this, it's saving this, so we don't want that. That's because, so we need this report, we just want this report to be executed when the resource it is report. Otherwise it's always being executed every time that I load this page. So, as you can see now, it's not loading anymore this. So refresh. There is nothing here. So when I click here, get report, that's when it saves the correspondent report in Excel spreadsheets with the correct data from the product. So this is another way of doing reports directly from here, where you have a link and you are executing a specific resource based in that link. So you don't need to create another page. So this is another way of doing things.